Hi, I'm Michelle Begue with a look at what's happening in Latin America now. But first, our news trivia. In which Latin American country has the Albanian mafia established a strong presence overseeing the drug trade? We'll have the answer later. We open this week in Chile with a tragic helicopter accident that claimed the life of former President Sebastian Pinera. Let's go to my colleague Joel Richards for this report.
74-year-old billionaire and two-time president of Chile, Sebastian Pinera, was killed when his private helicopter crashed in the south of the country. Pinera was flying the helicopter himself. 3 others survived the accident. Tributes poured in from across a politically divided region for a man who was Chile's first conservative president after the military rule of General Augusto Pinochet. Shortly after taking office in 2010, the country suffered a devastating earthquake that killed 500. Pinera received praise for his role in the recovery. He was then closely involved in the dramatic rescue operation to save the 33 miners trapped in northern Chile for 69 days, a story that captivated international attention. Pinera's second term as president began in 2018 and was defined by social unrest over levels of economic inequality. Pinera was unable to control unprecedented demonstrations, and the government faced accusations of human rights violations after security forces cracked down on protests. Chile's young leftist president Gabriel Boric praised Pinera this week as a Democrat from the first hour and decreed 3 days of mourning. Michelle.
Chile has been ravaged by several days of wildfires. The death toll has risen to over 130, while over 300 people remain missing. Simultaneous blazes devastated almost 11,000 hectares on the central coast in the region of Valparaíso. Thousands of locals were evacuated. This is Chile's deadliest disaster since an earthquake hit in 2010, killing some 530 people. Authorities suggest that some of the fires could have been lit intentionally. Valparaíso is home to Chile's main port, some of the country's most popular beaches, and famous wineries. The clouds of smog could be seen from tens of kilometers away. El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele has been reelected with over 80% of the vote. This may not come as a surprise to anyone following the headline-making crime crackdown led by Bukele in his first term. In his acceptance speech, he praised his party's performance in the legislative elections. They won 58 out of 60 seats in the National Assembly. He'll be sworn in June and will lead the country through June of 2029. That will make his first and second terms a total of 10 years in office. An estimated 75,000 people have been arrested under the emergency measures of the country's gang crackdown. Rio de Janeiro has declared a public health emergency because of an outbreak of dengue fever. Dengue is caused by a viral infection transmitted by mosquitoes. Since the beginning of 2024, the municipality has registered 10,000 cases of dengue. That's just under half of the total 23,000 recorded cases through all of 2023. The announcement was made just as the city is preparing to receive tourists and revelers for Carnival, which begins on Friday and continues through February 14th. 4 other states in Brazil have declared a health emergency as well. The Air Force has set up field hospitals with 60 beds in the federal district. Now let's check out what stories we're following for next week. And we're following the story on U.S. workers continuing the construction of a fence on the Mexico border. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said over the weekend that he would expand troop supervision over the U.S. southern border to protect it from a migrant invasion. U.S. President Joe Biden's administration has accused the local official of overstepping his authority. And now the answer to our news trivia. The answer is all of the above. In fact, this week, Ecuadorian and Spanish officials simultaneously took down a gang involved in drug trafficking and money laundering that was linked to the Albanian mafia. The operations were conducted at the same time in both countries. 2.4 tons of drugs were seized along with nearly €500,000. The Albanian mafia is one of the most powerful in the world among 8 identified mafias. Their ties to Latin America extend from Mexico to Bolivia and Brazil. And that's it for this week. We'll see you again soon on Latin America Now.